Hey there, Postal here. Hi, long time no see. I am back. Go into detail on my hiatus. I will be streaming this Saturday, October 19th, so if you want to hang out with me then, kind of back and forth. Today, just going to simply be talking about a new event in World of Warplanes, and that's the Soaring Eagle to try to get Emma Vogel. Emma Vogel is a pilot specific for the Tier 7 German FW-190D, the Dora. It's actually a plane I really enjoy. So getting this pilot is actually going to be a priority for me because I do like this plane this much, yes. What is this particular set of missions? Well, I feel like this looks like Sarah Connor from Terminator movies. Anyway, it's freaking me out. We've got 20 days to complete these missions. Some of them are going to be slightly easier than others, as they tend to be. My first thing that I'm going to tell everybody that I always mention on any of these mission marathon type settings, especially to get pilots and free planes and things of that nature, is just do what you can. If you get it, that's great, but it's not worth the stress of like doing 6-hour days of trying to get these things knocked out. Some of these I might find very easy to do, even with a year hiatus or however long it's been. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy for everybody. Some of them I'm going to find very difficult to do, and you might find them easy. My point is, try to get some of the free stuff out of it. If you can get Emma Vogel, that's awesome. We'll talk about her at the end of the video. But right now we're going to talk about the missions themselves. Keep in mind this is Tier 4 through Tier 10, which is nice. But some of these missions you're going to want the highest tier you can possibly get, and we'll talk about that right out of the gate. Mission 1 is deal 40,000 HP of damage to aerial targets in any number of battles. Great thing of this is any number of battles. 40,000 HP though, the higher the tier, the more damage you're going to be doing. So doing this at Tier 4 is going to take you forever. Doing it at Tier 10 might take you 5 battles or less if you're really good. Mission number 2. Oh, and you get all these different rewards. So this is the focus. This is these cool different rewards. Like you get premium account time, you get premium ammunition, which I think is okay, useless. There's elements and there's all these different things that can be very helpful. Focus on that. Focus on getting a mission at a time. And if you can get all 20, that's great. If you can't, well, at least you got 5 or 10 or however many you got. So mission number 2, earn 65,000 personal points in any number of battles. I'm hoping that takes me like 6 times. It might take you longer. Might take you less. Might take you 3 times because you're that damn good. But it's any number of battles, so don't stress out about it. Mission number 3, destroy 110 aerial targets. Remember, this is aerial targets, so this is defense aircraft, this is enemy aircraft, this is bombing runs. So any aerial targets is going to get you that mission number 3. Mission number 4, earn 5,000 capture points in any number of battles, and you get a standard supply crate out of it, which is always nice. Remember, capture points can be earned by taking over a sector, but also defending a sector if you've lost capture points in that sector. What do I mean? You've completely captured some sort of sector, an airbase, let's say. The enemy starts to capture it back, so you lose some capture points. When you kill an enemy aircraft that's attacking it, you get capture points back. That's actually earning capture points by defending a sector. Keep in mind, though, if the sector is at full capture points and you kill an enemy aircraft in it, you're not gaining any capture points, and so you don't gain any capture points for this mission. Mission number 5, receive the Conqueror Award. This is going to be really nice because you get this extra crew training when you complete the Conqueror Award for Mission 5. Mission number 6, destroy 30 enemy multi-role fighters in any number of battles. Again, any number of battles. Enemy multi-role fighters, so this has to be the actual enemy aircraft. Multi-role fighters tend to be the largest portion of an enemy team, so that's going to be helpful at least. Mission number 7, deal 800,000 HP of damage to ground targets in any number of battles. This could take forever. If you're going at Tier 4, Tier 5, Tier 6, just takes forever because you're not doing as much damage. Even at Tier 10, really good pilots are going to do 100,000 HP. And that's if, everything lines up perfectly right. It's still going to take 8 battles, which isn't a lot, I guess, when you think about it. But that's the upper echelon pilots, right? Going out with their ground attackers and their bombers. And that's what you're going to want to do. Don't use multi-role fighters. Do not use heavy fighters for this. Be using ground attackers and bombers. And the higher the tier, the better. If you don't have high tier, then just, do your grind. You're going to get more ground damage done in a tier 6 or tier 7 ground attacker, for instance, than you will typically in a tier 8 multi-role fighter, for instance. So keep that in mind. If you've got like a tier 10 multi-role fighter, like the F7U, for instance, a tier 10 multi-role fighter might be able to do a decent amount of ground damage if you've only got a mid-tier ground attacker or bomber, but otherwise use those GAs and bombers. Mission 8, destroy 50 enemy aircraft while defending sectors. Again, this is in any number of battles, of course, because just defeating 50 enemy aircraft to be substantial in one battle. So this is while defending sectors. So where we were talking before about earning those capture points, you need to make sure they're in the sector when you kill these enemy aircraft. So they obviously can't be the white aircraft that are in the sector before it's captured by either side. It has to be a blue sector, and you have to kill aircraft that are coming into the sector, and they have to die inside that sector. There's been many times where I'm attacking something inside of a sector, and it pops out of the sector right as I kill it. Well, if it's outside the sector, you're not killing the enemy aircraft while defending the sector. It's technically outside the sector, so it doesn't count as a defense. Make sure you're killing it inside the sector. That's going to count towards your 50. Mission number 9, destroy 25 armored sections of ground targets in a single battle. This you're going to want bombers or ground attackers. The good thing is it's just armored sections of ground targets in a single battle. It doesn't matter what tier. You're not doing a threshold in HP. Keep in mind it does need to be armored sections, so you can't be just attacking the tents. AA guns are not going to count towards this. They're not armored sections of ground targets. So it needs to be those heavier duty targets. Bombers tend to be really good at this just because, bunch of bombs. Ground attackers are reasonably good at it, but bombers tend to be the better option for this type of mission. Plus you get a supply crate out of it. Nice. Personally, like the premium consumables, I don't really use all that often, except on honestly, the meta planes that everybody and their brother's trying to kill. Sometimes I need that extra little bump when it comes to emergency engine cooling and things of that nature. But typically I just sell those, get extra money out of it. Mission 10, receive the Flying Vanguard badge. The Flying Vanguard badge is completable in a multi-role fighter, bomber, or a ground attacker. To get this badge, you need to capture 5 sectors in a battle. You can die, whatever you need to do. Obviously, the battle needs to last long enough for you to capture 5 sectors, but it needs to be in a ground attacker, bomber, or a multi-role fighter, and you can earn the Flying Vanguard badge. And you get your credit boosters, which is really nice. See, this is what I'm talking about. You're halfway done with the missions, and maybe you don't get the pilot, but you're getting these extra boosts, which is going to be nice. So mission 11, deal 80,000 HP of damage to aerial targets in any number of battles. So like the 65,000 previously, you just want the highest tier, typically heavy fighter that you can get. Fighters will be fine, multi-role fighters will be fine, but heavy fighters are going to be the best for this. And it's aerial targets. So attacking those bombing runs, you're going to get a lot of HP knocked out by attacking bombers and ground attackers. Those are the high HP targets, and it's any aerial target. So it doesn't necessarily need to be an enemy aircraft. It can just be any red or white aircraft is going to be good. Mission 12, participate in capturing 24 sectors in any number of battles. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to that. Yeah, and literally any aircraft. So if you're just grinding, the yak line, you can still grind the yak line, and you're going to capture sectors just by doing your normal thing, right? So 24 sectors in any number of battles, you can do it. Mission number 13, receive the Rocketeer honorary rank. Wow, that's what they call it now. A Rocketeer is going to be when you destroy an enemy aircraft with your rockets. There are aircraft completely built towards doing air-to-air combat with rockets. That's going to be things like your Batwing, your BVP 210, which is actually the plane after this at tier 8. Your BVP 210, which I absolutely love for getting Rocketeers. The 212 is really good at it as well at tier 9. And there's some other aircraft as well. The F-94D. We've also got the BVP 215, which is less good at it, even though it's got a million air-to-air rockets. But just because those planes I'm talking about, F-94D included, are built for air-to-air rocket and those kind of capabilities, any plane that has rockets on it is going to have the ability, so here's the F-94D, is going to have the ability to get a Rocketeer. It's going to be more difficult. These are air-to-ground rockets, but I've taken out aerial targets with air-to-ground rockets, so that's all you've got. It takes some finagling. Typically, it's easier to do that against ground attackers and bombers because they're less maneuverable. But you got to do what you got to do if that's all you've got, right? So good luck with that. But just one Rocketeer. You don't need to get anything crazy. And that's one of those missions. So yeah, a Rocketeer you get in one battle, but if it takes you 5, 10, 12 battles to do it, so whatever. You get an advanced collimator sight out of it, so it's worth it. Mission 14, destroy 30 enemy bombers in any number of battles. This can be difficult because I don't think enemy bombers counts as those bombing runs that are going by. You've got to get the actual enemy bombers. And at high tiers, that's suicide. Really, tier 8's going to be difficult, but tier 9 and tier 10 bombers are just like, no, right? It's not what I want to do with my life. So with this mission, actually, you're going to want to go lower to the tier, the better, because the lower the tier the bomber, the more susceptible it is to your attack. Mid tiers are going to be great. There's a lot of good tier 5 and tier 6 heavy fighters, which is what you're going to want to take. Heavy fighters have the altitude performance typically, and the strong enough guns to take out enemy bombers without too much worry. So I'd aim for tier 5, tier 6. It can obviously be done at tier 4 and tier 7, but tier 5, tier 6 is going to be the sweet spot for doing this mission. And it's going to take you a while. Think about it. There's typically only 2 bombers per side, and even if you knock out the bombers twice each, that's 4 times each battle, it's going to take you 8 times to complete this mission. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, and I can do math. Receive an Akamatsu medal. One of my favorite medals. I think this is the one I've got like the most of. This Akamatsu is a fighter-only medal. This is a medal that you can earn by getting, I think it's 400 capture points in a sortie. Correct me if I'm wrong with that. I'm doing it off the top of my head. That means you can't die. You can die, but then you have to restart. And remember, capture points are both attack and defense. So I typically am able to earn this by actually defending sectors. You capture a couple sectors, you get those capture points, and you can defend a sector. And as long as the enemy captures a little bit and you defend and get those capture points back, you can get an Akamatsu. I'll probably get that in maybe 2 battles at the most. Mission 16, earn 120,000 personal points in any number of battles. That's just going to take a long time. And man, if you're only getting 4, 5, 6,000 personal points per battle, it's going to take a while, right? Even if you're getting 6,000 personal points per battle, it's going to be 20 battles if I'm doing the math properly. So it's just, keep plugging along. Do your normal grind is what I would recommend. If I'm going down a certain line, just keep going down that line. If you've got a plane that you're just substantially better at than every other plane and you're always knocking out 15,000 personal points in a battle, hop in that one if you just want to hop and get this mission done sooner. But otherwise, these kind of missions with the personal points, just do your normal grinding. If whatever line you're going down, do the grind. Mission number 17, destroy 4 enemy aircraft while attacking sectors in a single battle. So keep in mind, this is enemy aircraft. This is not those white or even the defending aircraft that are normally there, right? This is the actual spawned enemy aircraft. And you have to get them while they're in the red zones. Actually, it could be in a white zone, I guess, technically, while attacking sectors, so in a single battle. you've got to be the aggressor. So this is going to be really good for this is going to be really good for any, like, fighters are going to be fine for it, but it's going to be purpose built for heavy fighters and multi-role fighters to a lesser extent. You can technically do it in bombers and ground attackers. Typically you're trying to avoid confrontation when you're in those types of planes, but I mean, hey, if you're that good at killing enemy aircraft while you're in a sector and a ground attacker, it can be done for sure. Mission 18, Flying Raider Badge. Flying Raider Badge is a multi-role fighter only badge, I believe. And you need 300 capture points, basically. As long as you are destroying enemy aircraft, air defense aircraft, and ground targets while you're attacking a sector. So this Flying Raider is not a defense capture points earning item. It's while attacking. You're being the Raider. I mean, look, you get some nifty uprated engine. Mission 19, destroy 4 enemy heavy fighters in a single battle. So again, this is enemy aircraft, the spawned aircraft, and heavy fighters. There's typically 2 per side. So you'll have to, kill those 2, have them respawn, and kill them again. You get a steel supply crate, which are pretty nice, and it can be done. Typically, you want an aircraft that you're good at that's a good anti-heavy fighter aircraft. There's some really fast fighters out there that are purpose-built for taking down heavy fighters. But more often than not, you're taking out another heavy fighter to take out that heavy fighter. So yeah, but whatever works best in your hand. And the last one is receive the Doolittle Medal, which is an odd one to have as your 20th mission, to receive a pilot for multi-role fighter, because it is a bomber-only medal. Doolittle is a sortie medal. That means you need to earn 400 capture points in a single sortie while in a bomber. If you die, it restarts. So as long as you die early on, you've got enough time typically to earn those 400 capture points. Then you'll get Emma Vogel, and you get some extra bonus on the boosts as well. Not a whole lot of time to complete this mission. That's kind of about it, in my opinion. If you haven't started, I'm recording this on the 14th. This video is going to post on the 15th. You should start sooner rather than later, just so you can get ahead of it, right? But they're not impossible by any means. There's really nothing here that's this crazy, like, oh, this one mission is going to take me forever. The only one really for me that's going to take a long time is probably the Doolittle, but there's much better bomber pilots out there than me. The rest of them are just going to be either just time consuming, like 800,000 damage to ground targets, or yeah, that's really, yeah. Anyway, so nose to the grindstone, you'll get through it. If you don't get the pilot out of it, it's fine. You can at least get these bonus rewards, and that's definitely good. But if you do want to get the pilot, if you're trying to get Emma, who is she? What is she? Well, she's the pilot for the FW-190 Dora. She has 5 skill points right out of the gate. One is the FW-190D Master. So this replaces the Protection Expert skill and includes those bonuses. Plus you get plus 10% boost duration, plus 10% range to the forward firing armament, plus 40% effective equipment that helps the aircraft HP and resistance to critical damage. And it's only good for the FW-190D. So it's only going to work when she's in this particular plane. The other one is a high altitude maneuvering, which works on any plane that she can pilot. This skill replaces the standard eagle-eyed skill. It gives you 10% acceleration in a dive, plus 10% controllability in a dive, plus 5% maneuverability in pitch, and minus 5% stall speed, so you can actually go a little bit slower. So what does all this mean? So for survivability, that means anything that we're using survivability to boost HP, or the survivability of the engines or the pilot, is going to be boosted by that 40%, right? Standard HP, I'm showing at 340. I've got mine built for speed. I've got the collimator sight on here. I'm probably going to keep the collimator sight on here, and same with the engine. I'm going to keep the boost mixture. I don't see any reason to have the armor protection for it, just because the engine's not getting knocked out all the time. Nothing on the guns is survivability based, so the only thing that could really be changed out would be, instead of the polished skin that I've got on here, maybe going with reinforced airframe. Now if I click on here, I've got a bunch in the depot. Let's just say I put on here the advanced reinforced airframe. That's plus 10% to the HP, plus 10% resistance to fire, and plus 10% to the tail's resistance to critical damage. All that gets a 40% buff, meaning that instead of plus 10% HP, it's actually going to be plus 14%, plus 14% resistance to fire, plus 14% tail's resistance to critical damage. And that's pretty significant. 10% HP would be adding 34 hit points to this. 14, you're going to be adding like 40, 42 points, something like that. And that can make or break your plane. Is it more valuable to you than the airspeed like I've got mine set up for? That's going to be really up to you. I'm certainly going to mess around with it to figure it out. But the other things that are helpful, you get an extra boost duration. You get the extra range of your forward firing armament. That's going to be helpful in happening no matter what. So even if I don't leverage the 40%, I'm definitely going to be getting a boost out of this. And then if I do, even though I'm losing out on some speed from the polished skin, I still get more boost duration. So, it might balance it out. And everything else that you've got going on here with the helps of the maneuverability and acceleration beyond that even, it might just be better to have survivability boost with Emma on here. So yeah, there you go. We've got the Soaring Eagle going on right now. Today is the second day of it, and you've got another 19 days. So don't stress out about it. It's not worth the stress, but if you've got the ability to try. FW190D is a really good plane. I like it quite a bit, actually. And we'll fly it for sure this upcoming Saturday. So again, October 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be doing, I think, 8 or maybe 9. We'll find you on Twitch. But I'll see you then. You want to talk about anything you want to talk about there, we can talk about it there. But otherwise, I'm going to be posting some videos the rest of this week. Probably some on some of the planes that are for sale, like the P-82B and things of that nature. And then we'll fly whatever you guys want me to on Saturday. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. Relatively quick video, but I'll keep them coming. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.